Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into Hot Mess Momllennials. Today, Shani and I are going to discuss motherhood. Okay, so we're discussing motherhood. We're also discussing some things that might be slightly related, but not really, like mental health and the healthcare system. We share our hotels.
Our geriatric no-tails.
Listen, oh, you know what? No tails. Those were more like no tails.
Mhm.
And just a lot more. So please stay tuned. I'm sure to be something that you're going to enjoy.
If no one's told you, Queen, Happy Mother's Day!
And while your Mother's Day, please remember to subscribe. We are Hot Mess Momllennials on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram. So subscribe. Check us out. Thank
Don't
you.
miss out.
Let me ask you a question.
I may have an answer.
What is your favorite thing about being a mother?
About being a mom?
Mhm.
That's kind of difficult. Like, what stage? Like, currently, before, when?
I guess that's up to you. Like, which stage is your favorite?
This stage, independent stage.
Okay.
Like, I was not supposed to be a mom. I was not supposed to be a mom. I did not want to be a mom. And it was simply because I have selfish tendencies. And I was like, I have to like die to myself for another person's well-being. There's nothing attractive about that to me,
Right.
if I'm being 100% honest. But right now, like being able to talk to Liam and just get to know him as a human being, like, oh my God, that's my favorite part about being a mom now. But I really don't remember his foundational years, and come to find out,
You don't remember
I
them?
don't. I really don't. It was hard. It was hard. But someone had told me, oh man, I wish we would have gotten this person on because they would have been really good. We may have to do a part 2.
Yeah.
But she had told me that sometimes postpartum, that's a symptom. Like you forget,
Oh,
like you
yeah.
disassociate and you're just
Yeah.
on autopilot. And for like the first 4 years, I was on autopilot. I cannot remember. I don't remember when Liam potty trained. I don't remember like when he teethed. Like I do not remember any of that.
You were going through a lot too.
Yeah.
But I think that there's something to that autopilot just because I recently heard an idea that really stuck out to me, and it's kind of unrelated but related, about dementia and about how there's more and more studies that are pointing to trauma being linked. I mean, I feel like that's obvious, right?
Yeah.
Being linked to
Disassociate.
dementia. That, we as people, like, we learn to disassociate, so early, and we forget things. And it's really for, it's the brain's way of protecting us.
Yeah. Survival.
Yeah, and allowing us to do what we need to do and bear with what we need to bear with. And, after, a lifetime of, kind of bearing through trauma, there's like a part of you that kind of breaks. Maybe like, you've, I don't know, just a
Like,
lot of hard things have happened.
I see the sun rising finally. Now I can engage.
Girl. I mean, did you do anything to I'm guessing that this is in hindsight that you realized that you might have had postpartum?
Oh no, I knew 100%. Like
Mhm.
3 months after I had, not even 3 months. Liam was born in October. Thanksgiving, so literally a month later. Um, for one, I didn't want anybody touching my baby, and it wasn't just anybody. It was his family. It was his grandma, and I was just like, no. And I got so upset, but I couldn't like overreact. And I vividly remember going into the bathroom and like weeping, just
Mhm.
weeping in the corner, and then just looking in the mirror, wiping my tears, and going outside like nothing had happened. Yeah. And my parents, his parents were out there, siblings, and I'm just like, I didn't just have a whole meltdown. And I
Mhm.
mean, like, I got a towel and I'm like weeping into
Mhm.
the thing, heaving, just, yeah.
Was it stress?
No, it was a lot of change. I don't like change. And I know change is inevitable.
Mhm.
I like gradual change. So I was pissed off that I wasn't at my grandmother's house, which that's where I've always done Thanksgiving. I
Mhm.
was now with my then partner's family
Mm.
doing Thanksgiving, and I did not like it. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be at my grandma's house. And on top of that, just having all these emotions still going, trying to figure out motherhood, I was over it. I was exhausted.
Mm.
It just wasn't a vibe. But I
Mhm.
vividly remember that because I was like, why am I in here just crying? Or I would always find myself crying.
Mhm.
I cried in the bread aisle of HEB. Was in tears. And thank goodness this little angel, this little elderly lady just came over and hugged me. And
Mhm.
I am weeping in her shoulder.
Man, it's funny. Like that's
Just,
it's not funny, but it's just crazy how emotions work. Like, were you aware? Like, I know that you said that you knew that you had
I
postpartum, but were
knew.
you aware of what you were going through, or were you just kind of having these random releases?
I went to my doctor. This pissed me off. You know, you have
Yeah.
your 6 weeks, whatever.
Mhm.
And I'm a big advocate for my mental health.
Yeah.
I know when something's not right. So I told him, I was like, yo, I'm randomly crying everywhere. And he said, oh, that just seems like the baby blues. And I was like, no, I feel depressed. And I was dressed up and whatnot. And he was like, you don't look depressed.
Okay.
And I said,
Okay.
What? What does depression look like?" Because I combed my hair, I was going out in public. For one, my mom was gonna look at me crazy because my mom had driven me to the appointment. I was like, she was gonna look at me crazy if I just left my house without, being put together.
Mhm.
So when he told me I didn't look like I was depressed, then I was just like, okay. And that was the end of that.
That oh my gosh.
But now, Shawnee, like if that were a conversation I had, I'd be like, no, I'm telling you.
I'm not gonna lie, like, I've recently had an experience where I truly felt like I was losing my grip on reality.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I have depression and anxiety just like everyone else in the United
Because
States
life is
because of
hard.
all the food and bullshit that, is just
That too.
in our everything and our everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I remember I went to just get my wellness check, like just not my OBGYN one, but like just with my PCP.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like some other guy that was like taking my PCP's place. And he kept asking me questions like, um, are you on birth control? And I was like, no, I don't feel a
Another.
need to be on
Mm-hmm.
birth control. It's not really on my, health track.
Yeah.
Doesn't really agree with me. I've tried and I'm okay with not being on it. And he just kept on being so condescending, like, well, you know that helps to prevent pregnancy since you're asking for a pregnancy test. And I was like, what would make you feel the audacity to tell me what I need to do when
For
I
my
am a
health.
34-year-old woman that told you that I don't have an interest in birth control? I didn't tell you that I was afraid I was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted you to test me for pregnancy because I am sexually active with my partner and I would like to
And
know
I
if
know
I'm
my
pregnant.
body.
Why would that be bad? And then the kicker was I was you guys, I'm pretty holistic with the things that I put in my body, especially things that alter, the neurotransmitters in my
Mm-hmm.
brain. I am very, very serious about having organic balance in my brain chemistry, just because it takes this for me to just be unhinged for a little bit. So it's like it almost feels like life and death,
Yeah.
honestly.
It is.
It is, yes, it is
It
life and
is.
death for things to be okay. And I saw like another doctor and I was prescribed this anti-anxiety and depression, just one pill. And the dosage that I got, was doing me okay. I still was feeling symptoms of the
Mm-hmm.
anxiety, every night I was freaking out. But at this point, it was not as bad as without like not taking anything at all. So then I was out. So I was like, okay, let me just make sure that my PCP knows that I need a new dosage. So I'm talking about all my symptoms. I said I'm really, serious about making sure that, it's not too high, it's not too low, and I don't want to
Just
be
right.
yeah. So then he prescribes me, the same prescription I was taking, but it's like, a dosage
Lower.
higher.
Oh.
And I look at it and I'm like, does he feel like based off of what I said I need that? Okay, cool. I'll at least try it. And I think that for a
But he
week
didn't
or
even discuss.
just completely. And honestly, I was in a daze. Like, I was not okay. I was worse.
Mhm.
Um, and people say that it takes a while to
Yeah.
balance out your prescription, but I was already on a prescription and I had kind of already paid my dues.
Mhm.
Um, and I didn't even feel great about it either, but it would do for a while because things were really bad for a while. I wasn't sleeping. So, for someone that's a paid professional who went to school to be a medical professional that I don't have the same education as,
Mhm.
I just find it extremely disrespectful and crazy
Unprofessional.
when medical professionals do not do their due diligence and really consider what they're prescribing for someone to put into them because that could have, you know,
Major
effects.
effect.
Yeah. So it just really pisses me off to hear your story as well for someone that
Yeah.
knows good and goddamn well that depression doesn't have a look. We know that from Robin Williams, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, it doesn't have that. It's literally a chemical imbalance, and I think that your chemical imbalance is sorry, not to.
Chemical. You're not
Yeah,
going to see
it's
it.
documented. That's what I mean. Like, it's not up to your interpretation. So,
Yeah, visually. But yeah, he
yeah,
did tell me that, and given I was 24, so I wasn't advocating as hard as I do now for
exactly.
myself, but uh, he told me that and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, that just pisses me off. It's just people's lives are on the line, and
Yes.
I find it disturbing how a prescription is always thrown out there with very little conversation.
But, that also brings me to something I'm super passionate about is
Mhm.
women of color and anything in the medical field,
Mhm.
especially pregnancy. I don't want to give you. I'm sure that you know,
Mhm.
but
That's scary for me as
yeah,
well.
Black women have the highest mortality rate when it comes to pregnancies
Mhm.
in the United States, and it's simply because I think that, well, not that I think, it has been shown that for some reason people in the medical field believe that people of color just have a higher pain tolerance or they're just lying about their pain.
It's very strange.
And it's like, if I am telling you something hurts and I have no history of abusing medication, and I'm here either for surgery or giving birth, why the hell are you not giving me medication?
Mhm.
Or something to alleviate the pain. I'm just supposed to sit here and take it.
Right.
And I do have a high pain tolerance.
Mhm.
So when I say that something hurts, like, listen to me
Right.
because it fucking hurts. But it it baffles me.
Honestly, what was I, 21 when I first gave birth to my
Mhm.
I only had one child, besides this one here. But like, I just lucked out and I just automatically got a woman of color as my OBGYN. And I would have never known that that was something that, I needed to be mindful of.
Top tier
Yeah.
of
And I mean,
gold.
I want to find her now. I hope she's not retired. I have just,
But I think our OB, woman of color,
yeah. And she's great
yeah,
too.
I just saw her recently.
Yeah, no, she's
Wow.
amazing, and she really just makes sure to keep all of to keep me because
In the
I have
loop.
a low pain tolerance, okay? I can't handle nothing.
Oh
She's
my
like,
god.
"Okay, so do you wanna go?" Because like, she's like, "Okay, I don't wanna hurt you with this, but we can also just, check you into the hospital, and we can do anesthesia and do the works," and I'm like,
Damn, she
"Yeah,
be offering all that.
I'm gonna need all of that. I want to be
The works.
unconscious.
The work.
I would like to not be, aware of what's going on. I don't wanna see anything. I wanna
I don't
feel anything."
I don't know if we were intentionally talking about mental health, but I had told you about the seasoned gentleman, and man, that irked my nerves.
Okay, let's move into that. Tell us about it.
It irked my nerves. Everything was going good until we went out in public. And I would like this to be a hotel, but it's not. It's more like a mental tale.
It's both.
I guess, yeah. So things were going great with the gentleman. I went over to I was sequestered for the weekend
Mhm.
and we were having a good old time. Um, some things I didn't like. It was the dynamics were more parent-child, and I was like, "Ew, that's gross."
Yeah.
That's gross. Like, are you wanting to date me or parent me? Because I already got parents.
Right.
But so we went out to Austin and we had brunch at Paperboy. I've been wanting to go there. And there was this young lady on the road, and you could see that she was struggling with her mental health and
Mm.
just I'm barefoot, when you think of someone who's homeless, that's what this individual was presenting. And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, like, oh my gosh, poor thing. Like, I said a prayer. And this individual, they were just immediately, they said, man, I just hate that our people, they got to live like that. Like, and I was like, do you think this person just wants to be there?
They
Like,
gotta live like that.
on a hot Texas day, do you think that if they were in their right mind, that they would be like, yeah, I'm gonna be downtown on I think it was where is it? It was on the east side. But I was like, do you really think that they would desire to be there?
Right.
Like, so that was the first thing.
Okay. I know that, like, this is bad to interrupt at this
Mhm.
time, but when you said that y'all had, like, a father-daughter dynamic that he seemed to crave, was he, like, baby birding you? Was
No,
there, like, a, "Let me make sure to, like, blow in your food
no, no,
because
no.
it's
It
too
was
hot?"
not
Like, what
like
does that mean?
it was more like, mind you, this has only been 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
It's okay.
He would tell me things like, "You need to do this with your car." And I don't give a fuck what my car looks like from the outside. As long as it takes me from point A to point B, baby, I'm riding it. I don't care. I'm
Mhm.
ready. Uh, but he would be like, "You need to take care of your car, because I don't wash it. I don't see that from the inside, so I don't care." And he was like, "You're a classy lady. You need to make sure your car is washed." And I told him, I was like, "If it bothers you that much, you're welcome to wash it your damn self." And he was like, "No, whatever." And then I had a flat tire. He was just telling me shit I already knew I had to do. So
Mhm.
I was like, "Why are you repeating that? You're going to annoy me." And then he got me with this one. He was like, "You just need to obey and listen." And I was like, "Skirt, skirt." I said, "Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Shaniqua Shanae Daly, and I will never listen and obey to somebody I've only known for 2 weeks." I said, "And are you paying? Are you my husband? Let me find out. Because if that's the case, then baby, we need to revisit this." That was the icing on the tip where I was like, "Yeah, this isn't gonna work out."
I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed by that. Were
Listen,
y'all arguing, or was he just
no,
trying to check you at some moment?
no. We were just talking about something casual, and he was like, "Yeah, you just hold on, let me finish the quote. You need to listen and obey, and I'll take you to the promised land."
Well, I can tell you something right there. That man reminds me of, like, like an older gentleman that never liked women his age. Like, he seemed like he always liked younger women, and he might have been able, from a generational standpoint, to say things like that to the women of his generation just because of the economy and
Yeah.
whatnot. Mind you, I don't know how the hell old this man is. I'm just making
This
up.
man,
Clearly, he's from the 40s or some shit in my
no,
mind. He's not,
he
obviously, but,
he
like,
ain't nothing
how
40s,
do you
younger than my
wait,
grandparents. He's turning 55 this year.
okay,
But here's
so
the thing,
he good and seasoned.
I've dated seasoned men. I've dated another 55-year-old. Hell, like 57-year-old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's before the Freaknik.
I've dated them, and none of them, I've never had this kind of dynamic or felt this dynamic with any of them.
Mhm.
So, and he would try to get me to, like take supplements and vitamins. And I was like, this man's gonna have me, get an eating disorder.
That man about to cook you.
Like,
Wanted you to be healthy first.
but to me, I took offense because I was like, this body bagged you. So obviously there wasn't too much bad about it.
Well, what is is that really what it was?
What?
He wanted you to physically look different?
I guess so, because every single time we would hang out, he would talk about like being conscious of what you're putting in your body And I was like, I am going to live, laugh, and love and eat whatever the fuck I want to eat. I don't care how many calories there are. I don't care.
What was he trying to get you to take, Shani?
Quinoa.
Oh.
Quinoa. And I was like, I want my rice. I want my jasmine rice. Girl, we went to Fireball and I ordered a combination fried rice. And I'm ready. I go to the
We should
bathroom.
go there after this because
I
I
know.
am always hungry
I
now.
went, put in my order. Tell me why my order comes out. It is brown rice.
And you were upset.
I was pissed. I was like, you tampered with my food?
That man did that? That was that man that did that? What, did you go to the bathroom, Shani? And then he just leaned over the counter and was like, excuse me, sugar.
I didn't go to the bathroom. That's the thing. I don't know when this occurred. I don't know when this occurred. But when I got my food, it was brown rice and not white rice. I was heated.
I would have been like, Cletus, please.
Like, who authorized you to tamper with my food? So things like that. And this is 2 weeks. Sunday was 2 weeks. So I'm like, okay, all right. But this Sunday, after we go to Paperboy, I was going to pay. I already knew I was going to pay. And the lady brought the check. And it's sitting there. I'm finishing my coffee. And he's like looking at me weird. And then I'm just like, okay, like, I'm not going to sit here and do this dance with you. Like, who's going to take the thing? Like, I'm going to fucking pay. It doesn't matter. So then this fool tells me that was a test. And I was like, are we in school? I didn't know I was taking exams. Like, what are you testing me on? If I wanted you to be a sponsor, it would have just been a fucking, and I would have moved on, baby. People want to sponsor me.
Okay.
Like,
yes, ma'am.
Please know that. I was like, you ain't stopping shit, okay?
But that white rice.
Exactly. So that was a turnoff because
but hold on. So the substitutions, it wasn't quite supplements.
Hot. It was hot.
It was low carb substitutions. Like you was just he was just like, girl, because he done already been married. You know, Miss Cheryl.
No, he's never been married.
He was close to being married to Miss Cheryl. And he saw her house. She was a brick house back in the damn 70s and in the 80s. And then she started eating white rice all the time. And she got older and them hips got to spreading like rumors.
I tried to tell him.
So he had a flashback when he saw how you was eating.
I was like, look here. Let me tell you something about my genetics. I could tell you about my lineage 3 generations back. And I never had nobody that's obese. And they eat the diet that I'm currently eating. So you can't tell me that. Like, and for one, who gave you that authority? Like, that was just so distasteful. And it really pissed me off. Yeah. And then he would say, oh, it's just because I have a fat girlfriend. What?
Like, what are you talking about?
Like my eating habit. He would just be like, oh, my little fatty girlfriend.
You're the fat girlfriend?
Me.
Okay.
I am. And I'd be like, I'm going to die either way. I may die at old age. I may die getting hit by a car. What I'm not going to do is modify my food. I'm a die happy. And full.
You are so crazy, Shani.
So it was crazy.
That's insane. I feel like your dating capades is the heaux-tells. Like it's like a saga. And I want you to continue to keep on just entertaining these DM men and then just come back and tell us how it goes. I want you to be happy, girl.
Hey, it was only 2 weeks. Like I was telling one cousin, I was like, the last one was a month. This one's 2 weeks. Hell, I may be able to cut somebody off in hours.
It's good practice.
Immediately no.
It's good practice.
Right. But what I was telling you. So we saw the lady on the side of the road, and I was like, you know what? Because he was being so ugly, I don't know why I chose that moment to disclose my mental health. After I saw how insensitive he was to this woman.
Yeah, I'm scared of what he said.
So I was like, I battle with being bipolar. And hold on to your seats, guys. This fool straight up said, so you cray.
Is this gentleman like a truck driver, like on the side?
No.
Okay, because I felt like I know.
He said, so you are cray cray. And
I know this very man.
I was like, do you know how insensitive you are? And I was like, you're the reason why people do not go seek help and why we still have a stigma on this. And then he was like, oh, I didn't mean to. And while he's trying to retract what he's saying, he's giggling. And I'm like, that's not fucking funny. It's not funny at all. I was like, this was a very, very, I wouldn't say private, because I feel like more people should speak about it, because you never know who's battling with that every single day.
And it lifts the stigma.
Yes.
Do you remember, I'm sorry to interrupt always, but do you remember Empire? Or like TV shows where there'd be like a bipolar, like, character or storyline, and it's just like insane, like they end up murdering someone and it's really extreme. And it's like, is that what bipolar is? It's so scary. but seeing you and seeing like just people that you know, like that are successful in life,
exactly,
and, you know, just happy raising children, like it's great to just see that it's not just like you're either a murderer or like, you know, mania.
Exactly. Immediately when you think bipolar, you think manic episodes all the time. So he really irked me there.
Yeah.
And I was, you know, just chugging along, and I was like, I will show you crazy. I will push you into this oncoming traffic for saying that. Like, it was just so so insensitive.
That man probably had walked away talking about some I knew I was right.
So we said that, and then he showed some homophobic tendencies. We went to Frida Friday. We're there, and
that was everywhere.
We were, but I needed to put all that in one day to find out, no, this ain't it. We're at Frida Friday. They're drag queens. You would have thought that this one queen like brushed up against him. She was walking, minding her own business, and happened to brush up on him. You would have thought he got leprosy from that.
Oh, hell no.
And he kept calling them transvestites. And I was like, are we in the fucking 90s? Where are you? And I was like, no, you can't walk next to me. Because I was like, I know too many people here, and I don't want to be associated with you.
Yeah, tell Lester to kick rock. Please.
So yeah, that's sorry I don't have good heaux-tells to tell you, like, explicit ones. But I got a no-tell. That ain't, no.
I like that.
It ain't happening no more. It's wrapped up. He hasn't texted me, and I'm not texting him. I'm ghosting his ass. And y'all know I don't like ghosting. I'm ghosting that one, because I was going to have an eating disorder with him.
You know what? I got more no-tails than heaux-tells, and I actually appreciate that. I'm gonna share something real quick, because I've been trying to get
the biggest hoe over here.
I'm trying to figure out how to get my toes wet, because nobody want to hear about my weird stories, because there ain't nothing juicy. But okay, here's a no-tail for that ass. Okay, so I remember I went out, you know, of all places, I went to a networking event, like professional. You were there.
I was there.
And yes, girl. Oh. And I met this gentleman.
Oh.
And he was so adorable to me. He was like Caribbean, and I just love when someone's Caribbean in Texas. And you know, one thing leads to another. With time, we end up, you know, like cuddling, spending the night together, not going all the way or anything, but just, you know, company. This man kept trying to, you know, go all the way and do things, but he kept on telling me that he was going to put a baby in me.
Oh, yes, I remember this.
And I was just kind of like, is it Brian? Like, sir, why? And it got to the point where I ignored it at first because he was so cute. And I was like, okay, you're not getting anywhere near my uterus. But
my panties.
I like having lunch with people. And I also like cuddles. You know, these streets is real, you know, is real dark out here.
Hard.
This is before I met my beloved David. So he be listening every week, girl. He listened to our last episode this morning in the very bed that we laid in. And I just hear my voice in the headphones. I'm like, wait a minute, what's that? It's you, baby.
Oh, the support.
I know.
Support for me.
I said, listen on Spotify. That's where we really try to pop.
And like and rate.
Yes. And for everybody out there that is watching this,
Do it.
make sure you follow us on Spotify,
Mhm.
please, because we got dreams. Okay, we try to
Okay.
make big.
We gotta go.
I'm unemployed. Who knows if I'm gonna get a job?
You
But
are. Claim
I
it.
would like to
Do something
be able to
creative.
do that temporarily. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? But anyway,
No
so he
promo.
just kept like sneaking that rhetoric in of I, we gonna have a pretty baby girl. And I was just like, why are the details? So I got so like
Scared?
afraid, yes. But I also the fear turned to morbid curiosity. I was like, why do you want to have a baby? Like, can you tell me, like, do you have kids?
Dive
And
into
like
that.
he just like didn't have kids at all. And I'm like,
It's a bucket list item or what? Like, it's a commitment. Like,
is this like a cry for help? Like, I really need to have kids before it's too late? Like, I would like to have children soon.
gotta
If
do
so,
it.
I would like to get to know you better before that happens, and perhaps kind of like you as a person. But he just kept on saying it, and we went to lunch, and then like after that, we parted ways, and he was just like,
Because he got to. Hell no.
and as we're parting ways, he ends that with, "Girl, I can't wait to see you again, so I can put a baby in you." This is our bodies. How do you say that across the street, like across a parking lot from someone? Why would you say that to me?
Because he
How
wanted
did
to
I
put a
meet that
baby in
person?
you.
Child, it was lonely out here.
I ain't got those.
I spent an entire night with this man and had lunch. So there was an afternoon. And like I was like, yeah.
Look
This
at
is
you now on the other side.
I know that you're not trying to persuade me to have sex with this rhetoric. I
Okay,
know
like,
that
does
that's
that
not the
work?
pitch.
Who are you selling
Maybe
that
he didn't
to?
want to have sex at all, and he just wanted to let me down easy by saying that, so that I myself would be like,
Nah.
you're not getting anywhere near my lady
Uh-huh.
parts at all. Yeah, he didn't have kids of his own.
Maybe
He
he
just
was
wanted this little
struggling
girl.
mentally.
It's as though he like he had like a diary or journal. It was just like his secret wish, like for years. Like, we'll have a baby, a pretty baby girl.
Well, if you think about it, he met you at a networking event. So he
Yeah.
was like, she has a job, but she's looking for better.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
He told me that I had really nice features for his daughter. So I was like, I'm like a farm. I'm like a farm like baddie. You know what I'm saying? Like a farm animal that's hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's degrading, but I'm also like really good looking. So it's like, yeah.
Well, you know what? I also use networking events as dating to pick up guys.
I didn't go for no work shit. I was happy at my
yeah.
job, baby.
No, I
I
go
went to find men in Austin with jobs.
Exactly. That's the code, ladies. And if you go to a really good networking event, they have open bar. So you could go and get you a nice little,
Cocktail.
buzz and then find somebody to go home with.
Okay. See, when we gain more traction with this podcast, we would love to sponsor some of those like organizations.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I might have made my people mad last time because of what I said about the semi rivalry between the Afro Latinos.
I don't think so.
I hope not, because I think I gave enough context. But moving along.
We're pretty amazing.
So you said that you never asked me about my favorite stage or whatever part
Yeah,
about
mom.
momming. Honestly, all of it. It's so
Really?
weird. I love being Orion's mom. Like,
Ah!
Orion is my only child, and I could cry just talking about
Mm.
him, to be honest. Like, he is I almost feel like in some ways, first of all, I think that he is truly my soulmate, and I happen to give birth to
Uh-huh.
just a soulmate in my life. Of course, when I say that, I don't mean that romantically.
Yeah.
For people that know, anything or follow, spiritual, principles. Like, he's just someone that has been brought on this earth to teach me some very valuable lessons. And I feel like there are times in this life where there is no one else that like I feel I can talk to, and it's just him. And
Mhm.
of course, it doesn't have to be nothing too deep, but sometimes it is. Like, I just, even when he was little, like at the baby phase, he just, he needed me, and it was very basic needs. He need
Change my
whatever.
diaper.
Yeah. And then as time goes on, the needs evolve and it's almost like there's this reminder that he has to go through where he's like,
Mhm.
I do need my mom.
No.
Oh yeah, I don't know it all. I do need my mom. And it's just I just love every piece of being his mom. He is my absolute just he is a jewel to me, like this jewel that I'm so glad was mine that I got.
You know what's so wild that we're both, single parents?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have like opposite sides
Ah!
of like what you
You feel the opposite of what I said about your baby?
No, 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 not
No,
that.
it's like
Like whenever I do say like I did not want to be a mom,
Mhm.
but I have like the perfect child to mom,
Mhm. You
to
do.
parent because like Liam and I are like thick as thieves. Like
Yeah.
that is my dude. But he was a very easy baby from what I can remember. He was very, very easy, but I didn't want to parent.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. But this is my favorite part because I can talk to him and he can talk back and he
Mhm.
has like an opinion. That's what I like.
I love that. I love
Yeah,
that.
that he has an opinion and I get to know this individual just as an individual, not
Mhm.
as my child, like as a being.
Honestly, like that is do you know like what his interests are? I feel like that's always
Yeah.
the best.
He likes to I know he's going to be very creative. Um, for Christmas, we got him all these color pencils, oil pencils, everything
Mhm.
creative like that. He
Mhm.
sometimes watches YouTube, like drawings, and he'll try to do it. So those are his interests and
I love that.
random history facts. He's a history buff, which I am as well.
Mhm.
So he'll be like, Mom, did you know this? And I'm like, man, that's pretty awesome. Let's research that and do a research paper.
I love that.
So
I love
that's
that.
what we bond off of. So like now that's why I say this is really cool because of his interest. He's a cool kid.
Yeah. No, like so my kid I actually want to extend like any platform that we have, not the one specifically with me and Shawnee,
Mhm.
but I want to do content with my kid.
Right?
Like I've been in places before like in public
Mhm.
where people are like laughing at me and my son. Like just
Yeah.
like you guys would do great. Like I've heard it throughout like his life. Like
Mhm.
y'all would be so funny if y'all like made a YouTube channel or something.
Yes.
Cause he's so funny and he just is my person. We're each other's people, but
Mhm.
we always had a lot of the same interests. So for you, you know that your baby's gonna be very, very creative. Orion just likes to win. He's a Capricorn, like, and he is a Capricorn. He like his joy in playing games is not like having fun with the family.
Uh-huh.
His joy in playing a game is that he is winning.
Very
And
competitive.
if he is not winning, he will kill the vibe. And I have had to like help him and it's just like this bad habit that he keeps falling back into.
Uh-huh.
So like we were playing this game called Black People
Oh,
Memes.
I love that
And
one.
it's yeah, it's like it's just a family like kind of board game, not really, but you know, he the obviously it's not that damn serious if we're talking about Black People Memes, right?
Yeah.
And yet he's like
Pissed.
not he's pissed and he's like dying. Like it's almost like he's no longer able to participate and have fun or even laugh. His spirits are like dwindling because he notices that, someone else might have a lead on him. And I am just like, this is the one thing that really bothers me about you. We are having fun together. Like it's about us spending time.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, it's not. It's about me winning. That is what this is about for me. It is about me winning."
But at least you're aware of that because I mean that could trickle into different phases of life. Like
Mm-mm.
he's always going to be, climbing, 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 trying to achieve. So,
I love that about him, but I also don't want I don't want him to be discouraged when
mhm.
he's not winning to the
Yeah.
point of which it's not worth him even following through on things that are important because he's not winning or he's not
Mhm.
doing the best. Like he got into competitive gaming very early in his life. So I introduced him to video games when he was about 4 years old, and that just became his love
Mhm.
for most of his life. I think it's actually this year, now that he's 13, that he has kind of broken away from that, and now he's really into sports, another competitive,
Yeah.
facet. So he used to go like to different comic cons. He used to go to gaming conventions. We used to go to the Valhalla Sports Lounge in downtown
Okay.
Austin, and he's even done some things with like local friends and stuff where he'll compete for money. Playing like Super Smash Bros and Mario Kart and stuff. And he's won. Like he has placed. Like he's played against some of the top players in Austin, and he's placed. So he, that's just a testament of how seriously he takes
Mhm.
things. It's a craft, and it's a
Yeah.
craft that he needs to win. It's not like for fun. It's not for funsies. Okay, it's not just to pass the time. He's not winning. Like
There's a problem.
it's a, but he can. But if he can take something away from his loss, he's grown to be like, okay, well, I need to do
That's
better. I
growth.
need to like do that. Yeah, it's growth. It wasn't growth during Black Memes Night
Oh.
last weekend. It was
Oh,
last
dang,
weekend. I
dang.
was so disappointed in Orion.
Dang.
But yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know much about Liam's sign other than he's Liam. He's a Virgo.
I thought he was a
Or
Libra.
no, no, yeah, he's a Libra. My bad. Shows how
They're like
much
the
I know.
opposite.
He's a Libra. He's just so sweet. You know what? He told me one day he started going to the playground by himself because I'm trying to cut the
Independent.
umbilical cord a
Yeah.
little bit,
Mhm.
and he said, "Mom, I do want to go to the park, but sometimes I don't want to go to the park because you're always by yourself, and I don't want to leave you by yourself."
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God, is my kid worried that I'm just by myself?"
Gonna be an old cat lady.
Yes. And, and I was like, "It's okay. Mom is okay being by herself. Like, it's cool." And he's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Are you okay with letting him go though? Like, does the thought of him going to college and stuff like freak you out, or are you like
No,
okay
I'm
with that?
ready, baby. I am ready.
I'm not
I'm ready.
ready, but I know how like especially like in our community how sometimes, we have a lot of single mothers and then almost like we attach to our sons and
Mhm.
then they have a hard time being intimate with their partners cuz their moms were like their partners.
Yeah.
And like I have that I'm very aware. So I'm like, okay, me and my son are very very close, but there
Mhm.
always has to be boundaries, especially
Yeah.
now that I'm dating. And I'm really serious with someone. Like I want him to be prepared for that stuff
Yeah.
and not be like he's lost something. But
That's
I have
something I struggle with.
dead ass, um, absolutely have been the parent that my son came up to me one day and was like, "Hey, so when I go to college, do you wanna just, like, move with me?" And I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, why would of
I
course I
have said
why
that.
wouldn't I relocate to go to your college?"
I don't know about that, but I have said that, like,
I have been
if Liam, once he turns 18, I'm gonna be like, "Liam, I'm gonna go live in the East Coast. You're more than welcome to come with me, but that's where
Mhm,
I'm moving. I'm not going where you're
mhm.
moving. You're
Nah.
welcome to come." But
Yeah,
I I find it difficult. Liam and I still co-sleep.
mhm. That's brave for you to admit. You know the damn
I
Karens
know
and the
y'all are
mom
coming for
warriors be
me.
coming out.
But, I don't find it odd because I slept with my parents until I was, like, in high school.
Yeah.
And, like,
I woulda
yeah.
kicked your little narrow ass out,
No,
not
but
both of the
but
parents.
okay, so, my dad worked overseas
That's
the
right.
my entire high school career. So, I
That's
would sleep with my
right.
mom. So, to me, it's not abnormal. And even to this day, like December, when I went to visit my parents in Virginia, I sure did. As soon as I heard my dad, like, get out of the room, I swoop into bed with my mama. And I'm telling you, I'm a whole mom, and my baby was in the other room. And I was like, I gotta go to my mama's bed.
Right. See, that's what
And I
happens.
went to my mom's bed, and she was like, "I knew you were gonna come." She already had the sheet ready for me. I got in bed with my mama. I'm 31 years old.
That's not that's not something that dies. I will say, like, just be careful with that, cause 'cause I'll tell you that I'll reveal some stuff about my family history. So, I used to sleep with my grandma, cause my
Mhm,
grandma moved in to live with us when I was, like, born.
mhm. Oh, that's
Um,
beautiful.
and it is beautiful, but it kind of has its limits. So my mom, I've always perceived that my mother wanted to be a daughter more than she wanted to be a mom.
Okay.
That as an adult, that
Mhm.
is my perception. Like my grandmother lived with me, like my mom primarily for until she died.
Mhm.
She would go around with the other siblings every now and again, but it was
Did her
like,
tour.
yeah, but it was like my mom's house was her house. My mother spent more time like being concerned with what my grandma wanted to eat for dinner because she got older. My grandma
Mhm.
died like almost 100.
Mhm.
So, we went through the motions of her not being able to do as much and such. So, like, I literally grew up with my grandma being my caretaker, but in the way that a grandma is whenever, your parents are trying to
Working, yeah.
provide and, trying to, make sure they get their credentials together and such. Um, and I loved my grandma, but it was just like my mom had this attachment to my grandmother that was
Mhm.
more binding than her attachment to me. It was just like her time was spent, like her comfort, like, okay, like when she did everything she needed to do, okay, whew, now I get
I
to
get to spend
eat
time.
with my mom. And like my mom
Mhm.
ate dinner with my grandma. Like my mom watched TV with
Mhm.
my grandma. My mom spent her desired time with my grandma. That
Mhm.
was her priority. And of course, we were all taken care of.
Yeah.
But from my perspective, that's what I saw.
Mhm.
And I'm not telling you that's gonna be you, but it just kind of it just like that's the first thing
A
that I
light
think
bulb.
about, and it's just like when it came to stuff that I like doing,
Mhm.
my mom was not there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She just wasn't. Um, but she was
Mhm.
just every step of the way. My grandma was like she was the madam, not
Mhm.
madam. I think madam means like being
Well, no, she
a
was
pimp,
the
like a female pimp.
what is that called? She
My
was
grandma was not that.
the matriarch.
Yeah, she was the matriarch of our house,
Mhm.
but she wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the everything was kind of imbalanced as a result from my
Uh-huh.
perspective. So like,
I feel like when
yeah.
my mom moved out of the country, I was depressed. I was depressed
Mhm.
because I had experience being apart from my dad. Like, that was just like, "Okay, cool, see you later.
Mhm.
I'll shoot you a text." But, uh, oh, man, it really took a toll on me knowing that I couldn't drive 4 minutes away to go to my mama's house and expect my mom to be there.
Yeah.
Like, it was an adjustment because before my mom went to Germany, she moved in with me for a
Mhm.
month and a half. So I was like, "Oh my god, this is the dream
That's a lot.
to have her here." So we were sharing the same bed. I would come home, my food would be cooked, the laundry was taken care of. Like, I was like, "When you get old, you can live here. Like, we gonna live together." So then
Yeah.
she ended up leaving and then we're on different time zones. It was hard for me. I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh my god." But now on the other side, like, we talk every single day unless upsets me or I
Mhm.
upset her, and then I'm
She
just petty.
Yeah.
But, every single day we're talking, like, maybe 3 or 4 times a day.
Mm. Girl,
But that's my girl.
oof. No, and that's what I don't want my son. I don't want to have that dynamic with Orion to where he cannot live without me, without it. And you can live without your mom. Obviously you are. Like you're an
Yeah,
independent woman, honey. You're a
but I
great
don't know
mother.
what I'm gonna do when she's no longer in physical form here.
Yeah, we don't have to think about that.
But I
Girl,
do think about it because I'm like, "What am I going to do?" And sometimes I wanna ask her because my grandfather has passed and she was very, very, like, close to him. I'm like, "How do you do that?" Like, knowing that you cannot call that person, you know?
mhm.
Like, that's tough, but I feel like this has cut the umbilical cord a bit because my little brother can go months without talking to my parents.
Oh yeah.
Months. And I'm like, "What?" They didn't answer my call, and I'm already on my phone looking at their location.
Wow.
Yes. We have a very I don't wanna say codependent, but, we're attached a lot.
I get afraid of that. I think that a part of my fear of commitment in my lifetime
Mhm.
has been I don't want to love somebody that much to where if they leave for any
Mhm.
reason, I just would be questioning, like,
Where are you?
what am I going to do? Like, what
Mhm.
am I going to do without this person?
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I can live without my parents.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have a lot of attachments to a lot of my family and to a lot of people. And I think that that makes me feel safe because I don't want to
Mhm.
feel that way. I don't
Yeah.
wanna feel some huge void because I think I would just die. Like, if, like, whoop, just a
What happened?
spit. I
Oh,
was
I didn't
serious
see
about
it.
this. But I think that, like, loss would just be too much. Like, I
Mhm.
still deal with the tremors of my grandma dying, and my grandma died at old age,
Yeah.
and, like, it was
She
kind
lived.
yeah, baby, she lived and lived, and
Mhm.
it was a peaceful thing, but I just was there and I was so attached and I was so invested. And I know I say what I say about my parents, but of course, like I have
Yeah.
an attachment to my parents. And of course, it's going to be really tough.
Mhm.
But like, I think that that is something that I fear a lot
Yeah.
is just loss. And even just with being with David, I have terrible anxiety attacks. Like
Mhm.
I always have. But a part of it sometimes that gets agitated is knowing that, like, oh my gosh, for the rest of my life, I'm not going to experience this right here, like it is right now.
Mm.
Maybe
Mhm.
somehow maybe, but you know, we're gonna get old, like, if hopefully, and it's, someone's gonna die,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, I think about that more
Mhm.
than I think about like anything else.
Uh-huh.
Like, I tend to go to that dark place, and I'm like, I would rather disengage.
Yeah.
Because that is what I think about. Like, I don't think about that with Orion because he's my child, and
Mhm.
I don't think that my brain could even, like,
Comprehend that.
form
Yeah.
that thought. I just don't think I would even be okay.
Yeah.
Um,
I would end up on the street.
I would end up on in the ground as well. I just would. I know I would.
Yeah.
That would be too much.
Oh, hell yeah, that'd be too much. I'm over here telling y'all how much I didn't wanna be a mom, but to think about that, oh, yeah, that would be I would be in an asylum.
Oh, yeah.
I would not be able to,
Mhm.
at all.
This is so depressing.
No, it's not, it's reality. It's it's life, but, man, I wanted to tell you something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, going back to Liam co-sleeping with me.
Mhm.
I know I need to get him out of my bed because I'm like, what if I do not what if, when I do get into a relationship that I desire, ain't no man gonna want me and my my possibly 8-year-old or 9-year-old in the bed.
I thought you were gonna be more concerned with when he starts having his first boners in the
Oh,
morning.
I think he'll get out himself because 'cause I'll be like, sir, sir, no, you
Oh,
got
that
to go."
okay, so I think it's been made abundantly clear, even though I haven't said it. Of course, I co-slept with Orion forever.
Yeah.
So, but we tried, but I never thank by the grace of
Mhm.
God, I've never had that awkward moment where
Yeah.
I've walked in on anything weird.
Oh god, that's
But
great.
that is a fear that I have still, where
Me
I'm like,
too.
I know he's very vocal. He'll
Uh-huh.
tell me about, "Oh, something happened today," like, when it first happened. I don't this thing, something new happened with my
Uh-huh.
I'm really big on making sure that he uses the correct terms for
Yeah.
his body parts because you don't have a PP, like, you have a penis,
Penis.
and that is a normal thing for you to have.
Yeah.
And he'll just be like, "Oh, yeah," like, it's, like, hurts a little bit, and
Mhm.
I'm like, "Oh, Lord, here we go." And he'll
That's
tell
a beautiful
he has
thing.
told me details before. He saw somebody walking by, and then his
What?
penis started hurting, and I was like, "Thank you for telling me this.
Thank you.
I am also sad, but thank you for telling me
Mhm.
this." So, I think that it just became this very organic migration out of my room
Yeah.
when he was like, "Oh, I got bigger fish to fry." Like, I don't
Yes,
like,
I
this is
got things
embarrassing.
going on.
Yeah, this is embarrassing or, my
Yeah.
business.
I
So,
forget he's 13.
yeah.
Because even with, like, Liam, there's a time when we would co-shower.
Oh,
And
that is so Panamanian.
yes, when I tell you that I am, like, very, very traditional in that sense, because I was
Mhm.
like, I gotta make sure that you're clean but I'm not trying to do this 2 times.
Mm-mm.
So we stopped co-bathing, like,
Please.
when he was
Please.
5.
Okay, that's not too bad, girl. I
5.
thought you was gonna say like last
No,
week,
no.
girl. I was have to be like,
No, because he started to get, like, self-aware. He tells me, "Mom, I need privacy,"
oh yeah.
and kicks me out, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." But if I'm in the bathroom, I'm like, "Hey, hey, hey, we got 2 bathrooms here. Don't come over here to tell me you need privacy to shower and you're in my bathroom. Go somewhere else."
Right.
Because there's no privacy with me. I'm gonna be me everywhere in my home. Absolutely everywhere in my home.
Girl. Okay.
Wow, what an episode.
I know.
Okay.
I wanted to end with just one question.
I may have one answer.
Okay. Do
I'm
you
scared
want
of these questions.
do you want another child with the next man that you're with?
Keisha, I don't even know who the next man is.
Girl, if you found the man that makes you feel taken care of, seen, and he's like, I really
This is a
want more
loaded question.
children.
Like,
Girl, not like that. Not Lester.
no,
I'm
no,
talking
it's
about
a
just,
loaded question because I have thought about it,
yeah.
and this is why it's so loaded. Man, this is full circle. That was actually really a good question.
Hmm.
Because I've always said, right now, do I want another child? Hell no.
Hmm.
And the reason being is the only way I would have another child, even if I'm madly in love with this individual, I would need an au pair.
Hmm.
Because I don't want to wake up in the middle. I never woke up in the middle of the night with Liam, so I don't even know. I don't know that life.
Yeah.
Liam slept through the night, but I don't. If this other baby does that, I think I would be a disservice to my partner because I would be mentally checked out, mentally and physically checked out, and I don't
Hmm.
think that I know that I didn't like that. So why would I put that on another individual? So I would need an au pair, not a nanny, an au pair.
I'm always shocked, and I'm going to keep it short. I'm always shocked. It's the mothers that are the best that always say that. The ones that are so attached and like co-bathe with their children for a long time that say things like that as though they're not devoted people to their children.
But I feel like I've done so much. Like I went hard with Liam's like foundational years. I can't do that again with and have the possibility of having a lax partner. Like that would
Mhm.
drive me insane, and I just don't have the mental capacity for that. And it wouldn't be fair to the child. It's not fair to me. So that's just a risk I'm not willing to take unless I have an au pair.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a little trauma there. That's why I can't do that.
I feel you. And I guess for me,
Well,
we'll see how this pregnancy goes. Things went too smooth with Orion in every way.
see, that's
Like
the
his
thing.
life, the pregnancy, the birth, like everything was just too smooth.
Too good to be true.
I need to see if that is going to happen again before I even think about, opening the gates for more children to run out of them. Apparently, I'm a geriatric pregnancy.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
34. So we'll see how this goes.
hope I didn't offend you, but I mean, that's what
Well,
they
no,
say.
you didn't offend me.
Oh,
I
okay.
already knew that.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you for just tuning in. This needs to be a Mother's Day special.
Oh my, it probably will be.
Yeah,
We should do it. Yeah. Our Mother's Day special. Modern moms.
that'll be the
Hot
name.
mess millennial moms. If you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe, rate, and tell a friend. Oh, isn't that crazy? How it just
Yeah,
Mother's Day special.
yeah. I love it.
Bummer.
Okay.